Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 Let's Play. So, Silver actually decides to question himself about, is it right to kill someone to save the future? Is that really the answer? The whole shtick of the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few and everything like that. He finally questions something like that, but that's all he ever questions. He'll never do anything else except for maybe question Mephiles one time, but we won't see that till next part. So anywho, now we're suddenly in Solenna New City for some reason. I don't know why we're actually here, but before we could continue on through White Acropolis, there are two more side missions that we can do in this city. And a while ago, I went through the little shop there, and I pretty much got the best power-up for Silver the Hedgehog. It's called the Shock Bracelet. And what it does is that by jumping and holding the X button, Silver will stomp the ground, creating a little shockwave to stun all enemies in the area, so that way you'll be able to pick them up and throw them. It's probably his best weapon in the game. It's his best power-up, I should say, in the game. Because unfortunately, Silver will not get any more powerful than that. And it saddens me to say that. That's just a big miss opportunity on Sega's part, or more of Sonic Team's part. And just, then the next power-up, which is the final power-up, because Silver doesn't really get that many power-ups, so you don't ever have to worry about running out of rings to buy the power-ups. You really don't. His last power-up is pretty bad, so yeah. Unfortunately, we won't be able to fly through the night sky. We won't be able to throw all sorts of psychic Hadoukens and everything like that. Manipulate things with our mind. Nope, we won't be able to do that. So for our first side mission, we're protecting the people from Iblis monsters in present time. And these Iblis monsters are purple. And frankly, I don't know what's significantly different about them. I'm thinking maybe it's because they could probably they have a bigger health bar, or maybe they could take more, like they have a better endurance. I'm not too sure, but we're dealing with these purple Iblis monsters during the day, so something's up. I mean, the Iblis creatures we encounter are orange. Why are these ones purple? This game just raises too many questions. And if I have to put a Batman Forever reference in this game, then something is obviously wrong. But in all serious about this side mission here is that this side mission could be kind of a bitch to S rank. It's really nitpicky on how much points you need to get and how fast you have to beat it too. The best piece of advice I could give you is, as you could probably been watching me throughout playing this game, is that I've been going up to the bigger enemies and I've been doing this like psychic bitch slap to them. It temporarily stuns them, allows you to pick them up, and no matter how much health they have, if it's a humongous piece of health or even like a quarter, they'll die in one hit. And it's very helpful. And in this side mission, usually when you see a cluster of enemies, you always want to go after the big one first because it's always the leader. And if you take out the leader, you take out all the little ones as well too. If one problem I could have with the shock bracelet, though, is that, for the shock bracelet, it works fine on small enemies. It works absolutely great on the small enemies. When it comes to big enemies, there's a bit of issues here. One of the times is that since Silver has to jump and then press the X button, there's kind of a delay inside of just doing the little shockwave itself, so you will accidentally, or you will actually run into the enemy. So yeah, just it's pretty hard to do the shock bracelet with the bigger enemies if you're just gonna run into them. So that's why usually when it comes to the Iblis worms, I like to do the old psychic bitch slap, easy and straight to the point. The problem with it is that you have to go extremely close to them, but it's very effective. It really is. And since with that, we pretty much, I didn't even get an S rank. I got myself a horrible D rank. So yeah. But that's probably the best advice I could give you for that stage. because there's nothing else that I could probably give out. Like I said, it's very, very nitpicky on how you get the S rank there. If somebody knows how to S rank that very well, you know, please tell us all in the comment section below, because, you know, I would like to know. Because, you know, I said this before, you know, one of my biggest goals is to try to get all the achievements in every Sonic game for the Xbox 360. So eventually I'm going to have to S rank all of Silver's side missions, so yeah, that'd be very nice. That would be very, very nice. So I'm just aimlessly walking around the city because, frankly, since I don't really play that much of Silver's story, I have no idea where the last side mission is. Well, I know where it is now, but in the time of this recording, I have no idea, because I never test played Silver the Hedgehog's story whatsoever. And also, his layout of where his side missions are could be, I don't know, it's very forgettable. With Sonic, it's pretty, it's somewhat forgettable, but you do recognize it if it's a side mission that pisses you off, but, you know, it all depends on just how you feel, how they do the structure. And the structure of this game is, you know, absolutely poor enough as it is. But now we're going to do the last side mission, and that is to protect this woman, Roberta. It sounds very masculine. It doesn't even sound women, or doesn't sound women. Doesn't sound feminine whatsoever. So, it's the basis. This is probably one of Silver's most annoying side missions. The basis of this is that, you know, you're supposed to detect these red barrels and, you know, stop the robots here from, you know, shooting the red barrels. If one missile hits the red barrel, it's over. And the problem you can have with this is that, you know, it's more of the shoddy program of this game is, you know, you'll be going through a whole cluster of enemies trying to shoot them, and, you know, you think you could grab all the missiles, you know, with your psychokinesis. Like, you'll grab all the ones on the right, but the one on the very far left doesn't seem like it wants to be grabbed. It will still continue its path onto the barrels, and that could be kind of a pain in the ass. There's sometimes I have to walk in front of the missile itself just to stop it, and it's because of that shoddy programming that, you know, you could easily screw up that side mission. So, just be on your guard. That's all I have to say. And it's okay if you, if the missiles touch the red barrels, if they're in your psychokinesis hold. If they are, then that's perfectly fine. Then you never have to worry about that whatsoever. I don't know what the middle-aged guy's problem was, but who knows? Yeah, I'll talk about him in a bit. But ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna probably meet the best character in the entire game. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Hatson the Pigeon. Yes, yes, gaze upon its beauty. I mean, seriously, what's the deal with this pigeon here? It's this pigeon that's only in this certain spot in a certain time of the story. What's it doing here? I'm curious, Sonic Team. Seriously, what's the point of that pigeon being there? Who is Hatson the Pigeon, and how come he's the only animal in this whole entire game that we could talk to? Because I don't think there's any dogs or any other types of animals that we could talk to. I mean, what's that pigeon's deal? It has a name, and how do we know its name is another question. I want a Hatson the Pigeon fan game. I don't care if it's Flash or anything. I want a Hatson the Pigeon fan game. It's just, who is this Hatson the Pigeon? Why can we talk to him in that certain point, in that certain part of the story? I mean, seriously. Because after this, after we go to White Acropolis, he'll be gone. We won't be able to ever see him again. So what the hell's his deal? Did they have something special in plan for him? Then again, I'm giving Sonic Team too much credit for this game. It's a very, very dangerous practice to hold. But going back to that middle-aged man that I was talking about earlier, yeah, you guys will probably notice about the guy I talked to. He told me to go away, and, you know, he will serve some sort of purpose later. Not like a big purpose for story, but who knows? We may encounter, you know, something that's will bug him later. I don't even know why he's angry now. I mean, it could be constipation, maybe he has gas. I just don't know. He's pretty pissed, that's for sure. Walking Amos Lee with a 60 miles per hour sign. Only if I wish that Silver can go that fast. If only I wish he could go that fast. So what I'm failing to do is that, I'm already done with all the side missions, or the side missions I could do at this point. So I just gotta head over to, to White Acropolis to get this story, a roar and everything. And this is probably one of the only times you'll ever use the shock bracelet for anything useful for the switches. Just for that. And that's it. They never incorporate anything like that ever again. I don't know why, but they just don't. It's a very, very odd structure this game has. Very, very odd structure. Okay, so now White Acropolis with Silver. The first part of it is Sonic's section, except we're playing with Blaze the Cat, and thank God Blaze the Cat knows how much the sledding mechanics in here are just utter shit. So I love her more for that. But folks, the biggest problem you're gonna have with White Acropolis with Silver story is more of the camera. Since there's so many trees and everything is just in your way, you're going to be fighting the camera a lot in this stage. And the camera could sometimes have a hard time, fixing itself, trying to snap back towards the character. And for those reasons, you can easily, run into an enemy or, fall off a ledge or, any type of obstacle that can, impede you for losing a life. And, you see those little bomb drop enemies, using that useful fire spin and everything like that. But those enemies, they just irk the shit out of me. Reason being is because usually when they're in the humongous clusters, when you destroy the enemies, they tend, if they have a bomb in their hand, they tend to drop the bomb when you kill them. And if you accidentally run into the bomb, you can get hurt. And not only that, the bomb is still active when it leaves them. I don't understand that. You think the bomb would deactivate when the main source is destroyed, but apparently not. And that's probably the biggest problem you can have with those bots in general. And I don't particularly like them whatsoever. Now, I don't know if anybody has brought this to attention or anything like that, but maybe some of you are probably wondering, how the heck does Silver actually know about Dr. Eggman? That's another question that just, irks people and just makes the story just more confusing that way. Because, I don't know, my theory is that I think they were going for a whole story to gameplay segregation there and everything with, I guess they expect you to talk to the townspeople, the townspeople with the yellow boxes above their heads, and, they give out pretty useless information. But I guess they expect you to talk to them and maybe, learn more research about the what's been going on with the town and whatnot. Because, I don't know, maybe there's a guy who says, like, hey, I saw this blue hedgehog chase this bald madman to save the princess and whatnot. I don't understand I don't understand it whatsoever. It's just, it's another good reason why this Silver story sucks. If there's no sorts of context to tell us, how the hell does he know this? Because he definitely did not learn this from Mephiles' files. I mean, he didn't even get a chance to read Mephiles' files. Mephiles just showed him the files and then just showed him, evil picture of Sonic, like, oh, he's the Evil's Trigger, ooh. That's it. Silver never read the files whatsoever. So, I don't know. You can think about it really hard all you want, but frankly, I just don't care. So, with Silver's last part, it's kind of like Tails, even if those laser gates still activate, if you abuse Silver's psychokinetic powers, you can easily just pass over the gates. And since I'm abusing his psychokinetic powers on these rocks, I'm easily taking all these giant shortcuts. And this is pretty much the end of the level, ladies and gentlemen. Just gotta walk up to this gold ring and we'll be A-okay. And this is probably the last level that'll be the most open because, I do like this level and Tropical Jungle only because of the openness, and pretty much I could fuck the level over because after this, I think all the levels are just going to be linear and just want you to take one straight path, and, kind of makes me sad, but oh well.
Looks like we've arrived a little too late. What? Oh no!
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so just like what I said in Sonic the Hedgehog story, we do encounter the Egg Genesis in Silver's story, and because we're Silver the Hedgehog, this boss is more boring, more tedious, and it just lasts a bit longer than it should. And what's this Genesis doing here anyway? It just came out of nowhere. I mean, yeah, I'm guessing he's supposed to guard Eggman's base while he's gone and everything like that, but I don't know. It's something to make it get to where it is. Like maybe show us a cutscene of it, like following Silver and Blaze or something like that, or maybe they see the Egg Genesis before encountering it or something like that. I don't know. But folks, the basis of doing the Egg Genesis fight with Silver the Hedgehog is that the best advice I can give you is that the Egg Genesis will throw a bunch of missiles out of its wings, and try to catch the missiles as best as you can, but the missiles are very nitpicky on how you want to catch them. They're really picky on how you catch them, because you literally have to stand completely in front of the missiles in order for you to grab them. I try to maneuver myself around so I don't, stand directly in front of them, so because the blast radius will definitely, get you in the end. And they expect you to throw all sorts of objects at the small searchlights, so that way the main core at the bottom can be exposed, and you can throw all the items you want. But, since I just want this fight to get over and done with, I try to go as close to the Egg Genesis with all the objects I have in my hand, and see if I can try to aim for the core. And since, I stated previously in one of the side missions that I really wish that Silver had some sort of lock-on feature or something like that. It just makes this fight just more annoying, because there's sometimes he'll aim for the core, and then there's most of the time he'll aim for the searchlights. I just want to aim for the core, but then the searchlights are in your way. I mean, yeah, it gets rid of them, so next time you do it, it's a lot easier, but come on. And also, shit like that too, I just wanted to pick up the enemy and chuck him at the core, but since the other enemy was closer, the Silver decided to chuck the enemy at the other enemy. It just, I hate shit like that. With this, the problem with this fight is just it's too damn long. It just takes so damn long. And not only that, the camera too. I mean, the camera is fixed on the Egg Genesis the entire fight, and the closer you get, you'll barely see Silver on the screen, and it's horrible, because you can easily run into any enemies that you can't see because the camera is always fixed on the Genesis. I mean, yeah, he's the boss and everything, I get that, but come on. I wish we could mess around with the camera at least, so that way we can get a better fix on our surroundings, but nope, that's just not the case in this fight. In Sonic's fight, with this thing, I mean, yeah, it can be kind of long, but even if I wasn't doing the illegitimate way of, hitting the the core underneath, and just hitting the core on the top, it's still faster. This is just way too damn long. Yeah, it's a boss fight. I mean, if it's supposed to be like the final boss fight, then I can understand, the duration of it. But since this is just your normal boss fight, it really should not take that long just to kill something like this. I'm just trying my best to grab anything I can and just chuck it, at the core. And there's sometimes that, the boxes just don't want to aim for the core whatsoever. You saw that, right? I had like 4 boxes in my hand, and only one of them, hit the core. And because it flew up there, it ascended, I really couldn't hit the core. And you saw that, right? I got hit, but the camera was so fixed on the Genesis, I didn't even notice the enemy was there. So even with all its health taken down, it'll try to do a desperation attack, just like with Sonic. And frankly, there is absolutely no point of dodging this. I don't even understand why I'm trying to dodge this, because even if you have no rings and you die, before you go into your death animation, or before your death animation fully loads, the results screen will come and interrupt it. So you'll definitely just beat the boss with no problem whatsoever. So, don't do what I did, run around and everything. Just stand there and die. I encourage that. Oh, I'm sorry. A wild Chaos Emerald has suddenly appeared. Where the hell did this come from?
It said this gem can transform your thoughts into power. Collect 7, and a miracle's supposed to happen. Keep it as a lucky charm.
Yeah. Do you guys remember back in the old days when we used to get these things through special stages?
It transforms your thoughts into power.
I'm just saying, and how the hell did these two even know what Chaos Emeralds are to begin with? But, anywho, folks, in part 16, we'll be continuing on through the story, trying to find Sonic. Who knows? Maybe he'll question something about Mephiles. Who knows? Maybe he'll stay silent. We won't know. But until then, guys, I'll see you next time.